Stand by. Stand by. All systems are now activated. Relays 1, 2, and 4 are now closed, and electrical circuits are energized. Clear all terminals and retreat to safe zones to prepare for ignition. All systems go. All systems go.
Welcome everybody to the next level. I'm Brian Daniels, and I'm joined by my wife Raven Alford and my man Josh Thunder Shaver. And on this episode, we are joined by none other than Carl Doninger from PopCon. What's going on, Carl? How you doing, man?
Just enjoying life. We're crazy amount of work still left to do, but enjoying it.
I can imagine, man. So PopCon, you guys are going to be watching this on Monday. So it will be the very next weekend is when PopCon will be taking place. It'll be the June 3rd through the 5th, first weekend of June, which I can't believe that we're already getting that close to June anyway. This year seems to have flown by so freaking fast, man. And I'm sure that it probably maybe has felt the same way to you, hasn't it, Carl? We're already about a week out from PopCon again.
Running an event like PopCon, there is never enough time. There just isn't. You'd have to have way too many people. But no, since we're going into our 9th year, we can pull a lot of it just out of a box, and we just have to fill in the rest.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's so crazy that this is the 9th year of PopCon, man. It seems like yesterday when you guys were doing a Kickstarter campaign. I still remember that, right? I actually went back. That's still up on their website, by the way. You guys can go and see that if you want a little bit of a nostalgia trip. I was looking through that the other day. I was like, man, this feels like yesterday when you guys were doing a Kickstarter, and now it's your 9th. You're doing this. That's. Does it feel like it's been that long to you, Carl?
It doesn't, but for everybody, the last 2 years has been a blur anyway. So it's 9, yeah, and I'm even looking forward to number 10. So we're already starting that one.
Excellent.
That's awesome, man.
Now you've attended every one.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of going to every single show so far. At least in Indy. I know you guys did a Fort Wayne one. But as far as your main show, your indie show, I've been to every single one. And it's been really cool to have the opportunity to go to every single show you had in Indy and just see how much you guys have grown over the years. That's been, and I'm sure obviously for you, for sure, being able to literally have a front row seat to see way more than probably any of us will ever have the opportunity to see, all the behind the scenes work and things like that. That's been really cool to see you guys start from such a small con to, I would have to say, being one of the premier, if not the premier convention now, outside of the obvious other cons there in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. I gotta know, man. So since this is your 9th year doing this, how do you guys try to up yourselves from the previous years, man? Like, what is that like for you guys? You said you're already in the stages of planning for the 10th one, man. That's
yeah. You're essentially asking how do we build an event that already has everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
How do we add to an event that already has everything? So
yeah,
2 things come to mind this year. So
mm-hmm.
So over the like you said, over the years we've tried to maintain and grow the amount of activities that people can do when they walk through the door.
Yes.
We do our best to keep the entry fee be your only fee. Now that's not always the case, but with an escape room like that actually costs money to run, or laser tag, that equipment costs money to run. So there are some of those actually, I think, may be the only 2 this year that will cost just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can go to the whole film festival, listen to all the podcasts live. You can We've got a bunch of virtual reality on the floor this year, huge Lego display. I think 60 some odd celebrities at this point, which is just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And it's and you mentioned that you've watched us grow from a small con. My fun little fact is our physical footprint back in 2014 at our very first event was our largest footprint.
That's what, yeah.
So we've shrunk the space because we know how to better utilize it, and we try and balance the number of attendees versus how many vendors we have on the floor, and it's all just a math game when you get down to the convention. But this year we've added two really cool things. So we have partnered with Indy Pride, and we are having Friday, June 3rd is officially Pride Night, but we're going to have events throughout the whole weekend.
That's great.
So Oriana Perone is coming in, and she's going to be doing her Oriana's Drag Race. It's a 2-hour event starting at 8 p.m. on Friday the 3rd on the main stage.
That's cool.
And people that want to can sign up, and she will pick 5 of those to actually participate in a drag race competition over those 2 hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
They'll be lip syncing live.
Cool.
It's whatever.
Okay.
I've only seen clips, but I've heard wonderful things. She's done it at other large events, and we are very, very lucky that because we signed the partnership only very recently, we were very lucky to find Oriana. So super excited about that. And she's also going to be doing an actual drag show Saturday night at 8 p.m. right after the Ultimate Cosplay Competition.
Oh, that's cool.
Then we have also got, which has been probably the most planning we've ever done for an individual event, but we're running our Squid Game, where anybody,
baby,
so excited about that.
Anybody with a multi-day admission, so that's 3-day and VIP, and I'm guessing we'll let press participate if they want to, if they're going to be there the whole weekend.
That'd be fun.
People will participate in 6 games. And if you don't know, for those of you that don't know what Squid Game is, it was a Netflix series of a Korean TV show, a fictional series. And I don't want to spoil it, but they played 6 Korean kids games, and there was one winner that won a bunch of money. And I do highly recommend that if you're not squeamish, to go watch that show.
Yeah.
But
so we're not going to win $250,000, right? You don't have that in the budget.
Well, no, it's better. The winner, the winner is getting something that is so unheard of in our industry
really
that
cool.
It is
we're
really
about
cool.
to say it, but we're giving them a lifetime 3-day badge to PopCon.
Look at Josh.
Yeah.
I approve.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty
Thunder
cool.
approve.
Nobody does that.
Nobody's
Nobody
done that. Yeah.
No.
And it's I personally think that's worth more than $250,000.
Yeah, man, that's great.
So the games are likely going to be all on Saturday and Sunday because we want to encourage as many people as we can to participate. So we'll be doing a lot of promo on Friday, Thursday and Friday, just to get people to sign up. But yeah, we'll weed them out. We'll weed people out quick, but we hope people stick around to watch. And we've put a lot of planning into it, and knock on wood, the people have a lot of fun. That it's both fun to do and fun to watch. So yeah, pretty excited about Squid Game.
That's awesome.
And we're also working on a last minute partnership that I can't tell you exactly who it is, but I will say, and you might be able to surmise, that it is something near and dear to your heart, Brian, in something you keep saying needs to come to Indiana. But there's a potential partnership in that world that we might still be able to pull off this year. So
we're
know
what that's about. That's cool.
It's a bureaucratic nightmare of a partnership, but it is all in the works. So
all right, that's exciting to hear. If
it involves possibly some of the people I can think of, I can imagine that would be a nightmare, just getting everything together.
Yeah,
if it's what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I've left it very nebulous, but
that's a lot.
Awesome.
That's cool though.
So awesome.
That's cool, man. That's great. Look at
Josh is like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I know exactly what he's talking about. I've heard
Oh,
listening.
okay.
he
I've
knows
listened
what
to
I'm
Brian
talking about. We
Buckner.
talk we talk a lot.
Absolutely.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I'm excited for that. Yeah, the Squid Game.
I just noticed your shirt. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
man. I came prepared today, baby. I came prepared today. I've when you guys announced the Squid Game, I remember when Squid Game came out. I was like, man, you know how cool that would be if somebody did an actual Squid Game. I'm like, without the death, right?
There will be blood.
Because when Raven and I watched the show, I mean, you can hide a lot of bodies at the Indiana Convention Center. I mean, it's a big space. No, but
From
honestly,
experience, there's tunnels underneath.
when you could you imagine, like, on Saturday you start seeing people disappear, like, where are they going? Like, why are the numbers all of a sudden low? But no, but when we were watching the show together, her and I was like, man, you know how cool this would be, like, if somebody did this. And then I don't know if you saw Carl, if you know who Mr. Beast is on YouTube.
Yeah,
sure. He did you watch the Squid Game that he did? Wasn't that was pretty cool?
It is cool. Yeah,
that was neat.
If we had his deep pockets to pull off something.
Oh man, right?
I wouldn't be in the convention business anymore.
Right. No kidding. But when he did that, I was like, okay, that was kind of neat. And then I was like, man, this would be kind of cool if, like, an event did this or something. I wasn't necessarily thinking about a con.
Right, just somebody
and
having
then
an event like that. Yeah.
And then Carl tells me what he's planning, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how you guys pull this off, and I'm excited to actually attend that next weekend and seeing how this is going to work. Is this? I know you don't want to give it away, but is this something that's going to take place, like, in a room? Is this going to be spread out through the floor? How is that, or is that something you can even tell me at the moment?
I can answer that whole question with one word. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I like those answers.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be there to cover that when the time comes, for sure. And I'm excited for that. Which that's perfect. I mean, a con is pretty much the perfect place. And you mentioned you guys giving away a lifetime pass. In the many years that I've gone to cons, in the 10 years I've been covering cons, I've never heard of a convention do something that crazy. That is a pretty crazy thing to do.
We actually already have it. It is metal.
I was gonna say, is this a special badge that you guys have
awesome.
created? Oh, let's go.
Okay, that's really
Okay. All right. That's awesome. I can't wait to see that too, what that's going to look like too. If you guys
me too.
show that off.
The badge will outlive us all. Yes.
That's amazing, man, that you guys do that. And that's as I sit here and think about what you guys do with PopCon and stuff, that's what makes you guys' con so unique versus a lot of the other conventions that I have attended. That you guys try to do as much as you can for the community that you guys have established. And this being the 9th year that you've done that, you guys have absolutely established a pretty big community for this convention, not just in the Indianapolis metro area or the state of Indiana, but outside of the state of Indiana. You got people coming in and traveling, people that used to live in Indy or people that used to live in the state still will make their journey to PopCon every year to come and support you guys. What's that been like, building this community up for your now 9th year and having people come and share their experiences? What's that like for you as one of the main runners of this convention?
Yeah, it's a constant ordeal. It is. Community building is difficult. We did it from scratch with a brand, PopCon. I'm sporting this year's hat, by the way.
Nice.
Community building is difficult. So we want to be completely inclusive of every race, creed, gender, socioeconomic background.
For sure.
We want everybody to be comfortable, and a melting pot like that in any community is it can be difficult sometimes. It can just be difficult, and so you have to weigh lots of things in how you communicate with people, and it's all about customer service. And if we can't, no one ever can get it right 100% of the time, but we sure try to make it right for as many people as possible. I feel like a politician right now. The U.S. government can't get it right 100% of the time. In fact, it's really bad right now. But but overall, the best intentions are always had, and with any community, we're trying to build that out, and getting the word out with practically no marketing budget, especially at the beginning, and with a brand new name, and people still look at people that see PopCon written out in text still read popcorn because what's a PopCon, and that's
it happens to me on autocorrect a lot more often than not.
Yeah.
Correct.
I have to train my computers to not do it.
Now, not to get too on the political stance or anything, obviously we don't want to go there, but in terms of like inclusivity and building that community over the years, Indianapolis is getting, I think, more progressive overall. But have you noticed a difference in how the community has reacted, and how has it been like easier in some areas, a little more difficult in some ways, or how has that growth been process wise? Is that something that you've noticed change over the years as Indianapolis progresses a little bit more?
Yes, but not in the way that you're asking it. So Indianapolis as a whole is kind of an island of sanity in the state.
It really is. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
There are other areas, the Bloomingtons and the Lafayettes and the Muncies and the Fort Waynes and the Angeles that have education centers and typically a more of a melting pot of people. So we're lucky with Indianapolis. We're a very progressive city in all the right ways, and huge communities that are. We have the largest African American event in the country every year. We have
really do
one of the biggest pride events in the country every year. We have and then melting pots like the Indy 500 and Super Bowls and everything else, and the entire NCAA tournament and all the things that we've pulled off over the years as a community. It's Indianapolis is kind of, like I said, an island. So to answer the question that you were asking, it's more about getting word out to those individual communities that they can come to an event like ours and be accepted and have fun and be able to be not their own individual labels, but be part of the PopCon community.
Of the actual community. Yeah, perfect. Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys have always made it very clear that you're a very all-inclusive convention, which I love. Because for me, I've had the pleasure of covering several different things outside of conventions. Conventions are always going to be my home, and that's where I feel the most comfortable at, and which is great because I can't really recall in all the times I've done what I do, not just covering like PopCon. I've had the pleasure of doing like Gen Con, Wizard World, things like that. And while a lot of these different conventions may not be the best when it comes to quality, they've always had a sense of camaraderie and being, I guess you could say, a sort of safe space, if you will, for people to come and be to nerd out and be themselves and to express themselves. Whereas they might not feel comfortable expressing who they are in front of their parents and their family. You get what I'm saying by that. And so I feel like PopCon does a really great job of giving you, hey, look, while you might not be able to be this way or be comfortable being who you really are in front of your family, come here for the weekend and you can be the person you really are. And now I'm not trying to get all emotional, but it does make me a little emotional because that's what I love about PopCon is that you guys understand that for some people it's more than just a convention, right? It's about freedom of expression and not feeling like they're going to come and worry about what somebody says to them. You get what I'm saying?
Well, what's so great about you guys too is that you do it so intentionally, yet without any kind of pressure. Like there's no, it's just natural. It's just organic feeling. So so I love it.
Yeah. If you want to be a male slave Princess Leia, or you come and be comfortable. Just cover all the right bits and parts.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely have to say most of my favorite con experiences ever have been at PopCons. Going all the way back to the first one, I was walking down the hallway and Joel Hodgson comes walking down the hallway for me, and I'm like, oh my god, like I met you earlier, but it was a real quick thing, and like you're the single person that has had the most impact on my entire life. And he was like, oh cool, let's chat. And he literally stood there and talked to me in the hallway for a good 3-4 minutes. That was awesome.
Yeah, I can look back at that first event and I wish we could just hit replay. I would want everything that we did on that first event, but for how many people come to the event now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was we were Joel's first ever convention.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow.
And that
I had
meant
the pleasure of
so
meeting him
much to me
too.
as a
Wow, that's
fan too.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
So
And-
it was because of PopCon that he's doing conventions now and how much he enjoys doing them.
That's awesome.
It was
so
because
great.
partially because of his experience at PopCon. So
That's awesome.
thank you for that interaction in the hallway, because
There you go.
yeah,
Well, thank you for bringing it to me. You know?
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's what PopCon's
Yeah.
all about, right there.
Yeah. Well, to throw it back just a little bit more, before the first PopCon ever started, I was actually the overnight security guard at the Stutz building.
Oh yeah.
And throwing it back. And I remember walking down the hallway one night and I saw the big poster that you guys had, and I was like, oh my God, I have to be there. Like
Yeah,
I think he froze up on us. Yeah.
Our office used to be in the Stutz building. It's a great building. We're completely hybrid now, work from home, but yeah, it was a good facility to work out of, and we definitely put it all in the hallway because nobody walked by.
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, we're getting that storm now too. But yeah, no, it was I ended up volunteering for the Friday and Saturday, and that was like the best experience of my life, you know, as far as going to cons and being a part of con was that first one. So yeah, definitely thank you.
Yeah. And speaking of the guests, I want to know what you've heard on the flip side from the guest's point of view. Like, you know, you already know how the community has shown its support for PopCon over the years and been heavily active and involved with what you guys do. What do you hear from the guests that have attended the shows? I know you guys have had guests that have made multiple appearances, have been at PopCon different years and have shown up. I mean, that obviously speaks to the fact that they must love it. Obviously, they wouldn't come back. But what have you heard from the guests about the community and things like that? What's been their reaction to when they attend?
Yeah, like my background comes from Gen Con. I think we've talked about that in the past. So I volunteered for the tabletop gaming convention Gen Con.
Yes.
And they don't have celebrities. So when we started PopCon, none of us came from the back end of the pop culture convention world. We didn't, other than tabletop gaming. And so we knew vendor management and hotel. We knew some of the big things, but celebrity management, that was completely new to us. And we didn't even know a single agent when we started.
Oh wow.
We had to ask other people to give us contact information even for agents. But now we have so many in that Rolodex that our eyes roll back in our heads. But it's I don't know how to answer this in an immodest way, but celebrities tend to really, really, really like us because of our attention to detail and our customer service to them, which they don't often get at other events. They're more.
I can see that.
They're not treated as commodities at other events like we do at PopCon, and we just started it that way. It's not like we gravitated that way,
right? Yeah,
because we see them as a huge piece. Everybody is on equal standing. All the vendors, all the celebrities, all the attendees.
Yes,
everybody's going to get 100% of us,
right?
And we've got teams of people that are able to give them 100%. And but at other events, they're brought in, thrown at a table, and left to their own wiles. Essentially, I don't even know how we would do that. And then on a more specific note, we excel at PopCon at voice actors and internet stars.
You really do.
Yeah.
That, of course, voice actors go to other events, but they ask to come to PopCon. It's different, and it's and again, it's not something that we designed that way. It's just because of the item. Calling it the extra mile isn't even right. We're just going the mile, but other events aren't going that mile sometimes.
Yeah.
Not every event, and I'm not thinking of anybody specifically that I'm speaking out on there. It's just there's a level of promise and expectation when you come to a PopCon versus events, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
That absolutely does
The
make sense.
Standards and expectations align very well with PopCon.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and therein lies the thing. I don't know how many. I don't think we've ever really had a conversation about this, you and I, either on here or off here. But I don't know how many. Being as that you are running a show and you're always busy around the clock, like you said, you're even right now preparing for the next PopCon. How often do you get to attend other conventions outside of that? Like how often do you I think he's like, probably not many, but how often
actually it's part of my job. I want to go to other events, whether I feel like I'm going to enjoy that event or not. I need to go to other events so that I can learn the good and the bad, and I take away notes from both of those things. And I've been to quite a few events, and I've been to huge events that I absolutely hated for all the right reasons, but people go to it year after year after year because that's what they're getting exactly what they expect, not expecting what they should get, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely get that.
There's a huge cosplay con south of us that is probably, and anybody that's listening to this that knows me, they'll know exactly which one I'm talking about. That is probably the worst run event I have ever been to, and they get Gen Con level of people.
Oh my God!
I know what you're talking about. We're not going to name it here, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it just absolutely baffles me. Why do people still continue to go to that event without expecting improvements? And like I said, we're never going to be 100%. There's always going to be somebody that had a bad customer service experience, or they didn't quite get the information that they needed to make a decision that they wanted to make. And and it's difficult to get 100% communication 100% of the time, so that everybody's getting exactly what they're expecting to get. And it'll never be that way, even at PopCon. But we really try hard to make that the case. And other it just that's our standard. That's what we shoot for.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because a lot of times when I'm going to, as a convention reviewer, I'm there to have fun, obviously, but also I'm there to be critical of what you guys, what not just PopCon is doing, but like Gen Con, Wizard World, things like that. It's kind of crazy, but you guys are the con that I base my expectations of other cons on. Because you guys have set the I'm serious. I mean, you laugh, but I'm dead serious. Like because when she goes with me and she helps me with stuff, and I'll be like, PopCon would have done this better. I do that. I really do that. I'm not joking. Because
I've heard you do that.
Because you guys, too. You guys have set a bar that not many other cons, even the huge cons, really have the ability to do. Well, they have the ability to do it. I'm not gonna say they can do it. If they really wanted to do it, they would do. Let's be real here. There's no excuse why you guys, being a mid-size con that you are, can do it and larger cons can't do it. That's, I don't know, but I do look for these things. I notice these things as an analytical person that I am anyway. That's what I look for. And I still have yet to see a con, and I always bring this up because it's very important to me, and I know it's important to you guys. You guys are very transparent about what you guys do, but you also take criticism feedback very, very directly in the form of, you have this thing on Sunday that, and I love this, and I'll never not speak enough about this. I think I talk about it more than probably anybody does, where you will sit there and you'll take the it's like a firing line of, what did we do wrong? Give us the criticism. You're there. I know Chris has been there before in the past. I know Les has been there before in the past. You guys are like, look, tell us what we did wrong. And you're not afraid to stand there and take the criticism. And that's what I really respect the most about you guys, is that you don't see other shows doing this. You don't see their PR teams coming up and having a panel at the end of the weekend and saying, hey, tell us how we messed up. And you guys do that.
And in addition to that, it's 2 p.m. on Sunday this year. So
yeah, there you go.
on the schedule. But the other thing that I pride ourselves on is we're on the floor. Chris and I,
you guys are on the floor.
We're out there. We're walking around. You can come. Anybody can come up and talk to us all the time.
Yep.
And if you don't know where I am, you just have to ask a volunteer, and they'll probably point in the general direction of where they can find me. We're on the floor. We're out there. We're not sitting behind a door sipping tea, watching cash roll in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun, but we're up front and center. So yes, I love also that we do that on Sundays, but that's not the only time that you can come up to us, because if we can fix it on the fly, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm the fire putter outer. So
Yeah.
if it's attendee facing, I'm the one probably dealing with it.
Yep.
And I want to deal with it. I want to make sure that it's put right then.
Yeah.
I will also say too, as far as like when you mentioned a volunteer and everything, everybody knows who you guys are. Everybody knows who is instrumental in running the con or has a say so, or who can get in touch with you, like you said, on the fly. Like literally, even the volunteers, everybody is so well informed about what is going on at the con and how things should be. And if not, they can get a hold of somebody like that.
Yeah.
And that is unheard of anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like I certainly haven't been to as many cons as Brian has, but of course he's brought me into that world, and I've not seen that anywhere else.
Marriage.
Yeah, baby. But no, you're absolutely right about that. It's I'm big on people that are like brand ambassadors and things like that in any company, whether it's the gaming industry. Like I'll say, for example, this is probably why I enjoy Xbox more than Sony is. We got guys like Phil Spencer. That's a whole other conversation. But when you have a person that takes the forefront and wants to take on and be the face of the company, which, let's face it, Carl, you're the face of PopCon. That's just how there is. That's all there is to it. We all associate you with PopCon. Not that you're the only one, of course, but
that's kind of
I like that.
That's kind of
I like that though. I like that there is a face with the brand, because there have been times where, and this is before you and I met, I had to chase down PR people for cons. I didn't know. I never saw their face until probably like that Saturday. Whereas you're very upfront, and you guys have been doing videos. You guys have done shows in the past and things like that before. You're not afraid to put yourselves out there, and that's what I respect as well about you guys.
We definitely appreciate that. And just for clarification, there are two owners, for those of us who don't know. Yep. It's Chris is the smarts, and I'm just the face. So
absolutely, there are lots of people behind PopCon. It's not just you, of course.
Oh no. So yeah, we've got the Les's and the Brads and the KJs, and there's so many people that help put this on, that if it were just Chris and I, it would not happen. It just wouldn't happen.
What is one of the most what would you say, and I've asked you this before, I'm going to keep doing it, what is one of the most challenging things behind the scenes to run this show for you personally, putting this together like you do every year?
I would say in last year and this year is getting the word out to the right people. So marketing has actually become the more difficult thing lately. Really? The Google algorithms, the Facebook algorithms, they've all changed because of all the congressional hearings and everything, and with all the politics stuff that got goofed up with all those ads from years ago. It's really changed the landscape and made it harder on businesses like us to get the word out. It costs more to get less. And it's so, and when you're already running on a tight ship, budget wise, because we don't want to raise our prices, that we just have to be hyper specific and very smart about marketing. So I would say, from a business standpoint, for an event like ours, marketing and PR leading up to the show. So we actually have been hiring a PR specific firm to help with that. So we found that that's the smartest way to spend our marketing money, is letting professionals get us on TV stations, on radio stations, with information that they want to share with the community, and not a forced story or a paid advertisement. We it's very organic in that way, and it's very natural, and it's the way we operate already. So it's very comfortable for us.
Yeah, I mean that's I would imagine the marketing is like it's an ever evolving, ever changing game that you have to play, and sometimes it's in your favor and sometimes it's not in your favor. Even after doing this being your 9th year, you kind of get a little over. Have you ever felt that overconfidence yet? Even though you've been doing this for 9 years now, have you felt that yet? Are you still as prideful as you were when you started?
No. For the 1 point whatever million in the metro area just here in Indianapolis, there are more people that don't know about PopCon than do, and that's frustrating.
I bet.
Right there. You don't have to be in our game to know about it, at least. So that's frustrating, because even after 9 years, but we keep trying, and we keep partnering with local businesses because we want them to be successful, and we're just the middle ground, and we want to make everybody happy. So
I still know people who don't know what Gen Con is.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy too. There are people that don't know what Gen Con is too, which is really odd. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, they've been around insane. Ever. They've been around forever and ever. But it happens it happens. The convention scene is a beast, man. It's an animal of its own. I'm sure you know that, being in it as long as you have, that it's definitely evolving as the years go on. And of course, with the pandemic and things like that, you and several other cons had to change your game drastically with that. What's that been like coming down from that now? Like now as we're kind of we're loosening things more, the restrictions are coming off, although COVID's still around, but at the same time, we have vaccinations and things like that. What's it been like having to readjust back to a more normal way of running a show?
Yeah, last year that was mostly a last year answer. So
what was that like? Yeah,
leading up to so timeline wise, it was really strict. One door into the convention center, one-way foot traffic through the vendor hall.
Yeah,
one-way traffic through the hallway to get to panels. So you're just gonna have to kind of loop until you got to where you wanted to go, and then around, and just you're going to constantly be working in a loop. The day before the vendors moved in last year, so the Wednesday before PopCon, they lifted everything. So it went from 90% to nothing, essentially.
Yeah.
There was not even a mask mandate. So we were in that 2 weeks last year in 2021 where all the restrictions were lifted, and before Delta was a variant.
Yeah.
And that 2 week window where everybody was like, okay, everything's going to get normal again. Obviously it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so it was that made it easy on us. We didn't have to be COVID police last year.
Right.
After we took out all the one-way traffic, we took out, and we did all that, in a day. We did that in a day. And that was crazy in and of itself.
That's got to be crazy. Yeah, I think you guys were the first con that we went to last year that did not have any restrictions. That was cool.
Yeah,
because we had did the wrestling show before, and we had to mask up for that.
I did not.
And then but yeah, we went to PopCon and there was none of that, and I was like, this is kind of weird, like, getting back in the swing of stuff again.
And this year, we want people to come comfortable. So just like if you want to wear a mask, please wear a mask. And if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. I will say that I highly encourage vaccinations because that's your best shield in at events like ours. It just is. And,
I had noticed that a lot of places were doing, like, I know like a lot of concerts and stuff have been doing like health checks and things like that. And I had wondered if you guys were going to do that, but that's not the case, right? It's just, wear a mask. It's if you don't have a vaccine, it's recommended you do. It's pretty much like that, right?
Yeah. So Indianapolis has been without restrictions for a while now.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's tough to go backwards for an event like ours. So if we did a mask mandate now, it would not go well. It would not. It just wouldn't. It would be whereas it technically might be the smart thing to do for the entire population. it's not a good customer service thing to do.
Sure. Yeah.
We keep bringing up Gen Con. Gen Con's getting good press from this one, but they're maintaining their mask mandate up until the last second. So this year, even for this year 2020 event, they're still mandating masks until they don't.
Wow.
They're not reversing anything yet. So they haven't said we're not going to have masks.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to go back to masks because people would come unprepared and
too soon.
And it's just it'd be a nightmare. And
for sure.
So we're following all the health. We're still following all the
for sure.
The health department rules and the municipality rules. And the nice thing is the Indiana Convention Center is one of the safest facilities in the country. They spent millions of dollars right away to get completely new air filtration.
I heard about all that. Yeah, that was great.
They do an enormous amount of cleaning throughout the day and especially overnight with the sanitizing stuff, and they've gone above and beyond, and all that's still there. So I haven't been to an event since where I've gotten the con crud. So pre-COVID, people would go to and come back feeling icky a couple of days later. And that's because you were exposed to a whole lot of stuff that was just in the building.
That's the con crud, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever been to a con, it happens sometimes.
It's not eliminated, but boy, it's a lot better. But I do encourage you to drink a lot of water because that air filtration system sucks the humidity out, and it's dry. And
really,
force yourself to remember to drink water.
Decent trade-off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you should definitely stay hydrated while you're at a con. There's a lot of walking around. You're going to be on your feet most of the day. Well, that's great, man. Let's get into what people can expect from this year's convention. The things that you guys have planned. Obviously, we talked about the Squid Game. That's huge. You guys are doing that. You're doing the drag queen stuff, which is awesome. The inclusivity, I love that. I absolutely love that. Might even have to check that out while I'm there. Definitely. You guys have. I know it's kind of crazy, but I myself, and we were talking about this before you came in. Me personally, I don't really care about the celebrities all that much. That's just me. I know that you have to have that draw, and that's fine. But you guys have done, pretty good job this year with the celebrities that you guys do have. I know you have a lot of the cast of Yellowstone coming in this year, which is great. I myself have not watched that show, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. I believe it's kind of like a Western setting, if I'm mistaken.
It's The Sopranos in Montana.
It's The Sopranos in Montana. Okay.
That's a good way to describe it. Just based
I'm completely uneducated.
But you guys have several voice actors coming in, as you mentioned before. The YouTubers. I love that you guys still get YouTubers in. I don't know of many other conventions that actually try to get like YouTubers in. And we talked about this earlier, but I've been to the many cons I've had the pleasure of attending over the years. I don't see many YouTubers. That's so interesting.
It's a difficult nut to crack. So when we first started doing it in our first YouTubers in 2015.
Yes.
And that's the year we still say shall not be named. But we learned a lot in 2015. So that was one of those customer service years where we fixed things.
Yes.
Now I think we have the industry standard on how to deal with that now.
Yep. You sure did. Yes.
So you're welcome every other event. So YouTube celebrities of any size of subscriber level lose money coming to events like ours. They make money by creating content and posting.
Well, yeah.
So if they're not actively creating or posting, they actually lose money coming to events like ours. So we have to find that internet talent at a sweet spot where they or that internet talent that just craves meeting their community. And I think a lot of YouTubers don't understand the power of actually meeting your fans. So you get comments all the time, and from whatever your media is, Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, you can get comments and you go for the likes. But actually meeting somebody, one of those people that comments, is a much more powerful experience than I think they realize.
Yeah.
Because even on a smaller scale, when people are walking around PopCon for 3 days and how happy they are, that's when it hits me in the feels. So I can only imagine when you have 1 million subscribers and you're meeting 1,000 of them, get that in-person feedback of joy and happiness and love it's very profound. And I think a lot of YouTubers should be craving that without them realizing that they should be craving it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that heavily because I'm a Twitch streamer. We do content on YouTube too here. And the thing is I see a lot of cons and stuff that you don't see many of these channels have opportunities to really or to get showcased or featured at other events, unless of course it's TwitchCon, which is Twitch's own convention that they do once a year in California, or VidCon, which isn't, I don't think it's done by YouTube, but it's become to be known as the content creator convention essentially, and they also have that in Anaheim every year. But that's about it, man. That's the only two that I know of or I'm aware of in the scene. I've never been to them, but I'm aware of those. And outside of that,
the other one that does it without doing it would be PAX. The different.
That's PAX. Right. Yeah, PAX does that as well.
All the ones you're talking about are corporate run. A lot of those, a lot of that internet talent comes of their own volition, pays for their own hotel, pays for their own flight, and nothing is really scheduled for them. Not in the way that we treat the internet talent at the same level as a stream actor. And it's all level playing field. They get a different booth because they want to maybe sell stuff that a celebrity isn't necessarily selling, like t-shirts and stuff, or a TV celebrity, I should say. And but this year our theme is reaction YouTubers. So we've got 4 big groups of reaction YouTubers, and they're kind of using it not just to meet their fans, but also to meet each other, because I bet a lot of these they've known each other and been collaborating with each other from a distance. And at PopCon, they're actually going to get to meet. So
that's really
I think
that's awesome.
I think there's going to be a lot of a cool atmosphere around those 4 groups this
That's
season.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And that's just another thing that makes PopCon very unique. Again, I can't stress that enough, is that you guys try to really put your hand in a lot of different things, and that's pretty great. I mean, really, like it's
a blessing and a curse.
I can imagine you guys always ask throughout the year, hey, submit us your what guests you want to come and stuff like that. What's that like? What's it like to filter through those submissions from people?
There are a lot of those submissions are what I would submit for the Mark Hamills and the Harrison Fords and the Chris Evans and the Robert Downey Jr.'s, and
of course
the stuff that only corporate cons that lose money on those kind of relationships can do. And I would love to bring out those people. And,
absolutely.
But like I said, it's a sweet spot for us. So it's one thing that I also that you have known from me in the past. If anybody wants to know something about how PopCon is run, 99 times out of 100, I'll tell them exactly how we do it, because I know they can't do it. So I don't care. It's not a secret. It's not a trade secret to me, because I know they can't replicate it. They just won't have the time, the energy, or the wherewithal. So I'll tell them. So there's a balancing act. So when you bring in hundreds of vendors and you bring in dozens of celebrities, when people come and pay our fee to get into the door, then we have to make sure that the value of the money is being spread out to all these entities. So we can't bring in a Chris Evans without taking money away from the vendors. We can't bring in a Sony store on the middle of the floor without taking money away from the celebrities. So there's
course.
a lot of checks and balances that are going on to
Right.
make sure, like this year, whereas for the VIPs, we bought out the escape room. So if you're a VIP, you get to participate in the escape room for free
That's cool.
this year.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
And then we're able to control the cost for everybody else, just for somebody that wants the escape room. And
That's
I
great.
think it's a pretty cool
That's really
escape
cool.
room, by the way.
That's pretty great.
Laser tag is kept as at a minimum. The esports is free. Most of the virtual reality is free.
Right.
That's
because
cool.
they're wanting to show off their games, and it's just a bunch of checks and balances to make sure that everybody is as successful as they can be with what they're doing. So
Yeah.
if vendors travel 40 cons a year, and that is their livelihood.
Yep.
So if we bring in a guest that is taking money away from their livelihood, we're not doing our job. So we keep the celebrity row attainable to everybody. Low autograph prices, low professional photo ops, and I encourage people to do those things because it's meeting those kinds of celebrities is a rare opportunity. It's
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of cons in the country, but we're bringing in some pretty unique people. When else are you going to be able to meet Tom Arnold?
That's
Yeah,
so
we were
funny because
talking
he's
about
on my
that,
phone
yeah.
right now. Yeah, I was gonna.
That's actually the one that I was going to
That's
bring
pretty
up.
great,
Yeah, you're simply not going to be able to meet him. And the panels that we're able to put together. So for those that do watch Yellowstone, being able to go to that panel and ask questions.
Yeah, that's gonna be
It's
great.
one of the most popular TV shows on the planet.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
The Orville premieres on June 2nd, and we're June 3rd, and we have Jay Lee and Scott Grimes coming.
That's awesome.
And it's just being able to be on the Orville panel for the Orville fans. And I'm actually a big Orville fan. I'm a big Yellowstone fan.
Nice.
We've got 3 people from Supernatural coming, which is one of the longest pop culture TV shows ever.
Yep.
Might be the longest, other than Doctor Who. I don't know. It's a lot of seasons.
It's a lot of seasons. Yeah.
And I personally haven't watched Supernatural. There's a zillion fans that love Supernatural.
There really are.
For all the right reasons. It wouldn't have been around for 18 or 19 seasons, whatever it was.
Yeah.
100
seasons.
And then video game people, they get to come meet Roger Craig Smith, who's Ezio from Assassin's Creed, which is my personal favorite RPG. I love Assassin's Creed. I play those with every time they come out. And we've got My Hero Academia and Black Clover and Attack on Titan voice actors. We've got the entire Ruby of Ruby. We've got RWB and Y.
Yeah, you got them all. Yeah.
Roof.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. It's funny. People go to anime events, and I chuckle. I was like, we have more anime, and that's only 1/9 of what we do.
Yeah, really.
Come to a con that we strive that every 5 feet there's something new for you to do or see. You can't go in any direction of the con, and if you get bored at PopCon, it's because you're the one not doing something.
That's true.
As we're kind of discussing this, the first thing that popped into my head, and I hope no one takes offense to this analogy, but I think it's pretty accurate. I would describe PopCon as being like the ADHD on medication. Like I mean, seriously, there's something for everyone to do. Like you said, you have your hands in like a lot of different things.
Hey, there you go.
But you're so focused enough to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
Like it's you put in the time and the effort, and you're able to do it. It's not. I mean, like not even that other cons would even think about this stuff.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to pull it off like you guys do.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a very interesting way to describe that.
What's the con for everybody?
Yeah, that's got to be. I don't know if I would be able to. Well, I don't know if I'd be able to switch from anime to gaming to YouTube being like that quick. I don't know. That's interesting to try to cover all those bases like you guys do, which is cool. And I know that is that kind of hard for you guys to, I guess, try to balance out that so that people aren't saying, well, you guys have more anime than you guys have movies. Why are you guys an anime con? Do you know you kind of get where I'm going with this? Is that
we absolutely do get those comments, but my retort to that one is that they don't necessarily understand how enormous the anime fan base is.
Oh, it's huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Mhm.
So we would be doing a disservice to the entire PopCon community if we did not have that level of anime.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing is, one of the original points of PopCon is you might be a sci-fi fan, and our goal is for you to come away from PopCon learning something new to enjoy, something else.
Yes.
So for those people that comment about why do you have so much anime? Oh, they're about to announce another anime voice actor. Well, my retorts to those people in mass is that's because you probably will like it. You just are. You
just don't know it yet.
Fighting against it.
You just don't know it yet.
Yeah,
that's very true. It's kind of like my word analogy is like, people say I don't like beer. You haven't had the right one yet. That's the problem. That's the problem.
True.
And that is what I do also come to expect when I come to PopCon too. For those of you that have never attended one before, but definitely need to come out next weekend for it, is that don't go to a convention with the mindset of, and don't get tunnel vision, if you will, when you go to this con.
Yeah.
Don't do this at any con, honestly, not just PopCon, but don't come thinking, okay, I'm an anime fan, so I'm only going to go meet the cast of Ruby. I'm only going to go see the Attack on Titan voice actors or whoever. And that's it. No. Don't do that, because you are essentially limiting yourself to other possible great experiences. And I'll give you guys an example. My wife is now a wrestling fan. And she never thought she would become a wrestling fan. And she has gotten into wrestling. And now she is. And it's the most awesome thing ever.
It took a long time.
I said, it's okay to swallow your pride. Come to the dark side. Wrestling is fun. But that's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is at PopCon, though. It's not like, it's like, look, you can be an anime fan, but it's okay to come over here and check out sci-fi and YouTubers and stuff like that. It's about that sense of discovery, really, is what PopCon is about. So don't give yourself any tunnel vision or think that you're too cool to hang out with a certain crowd of people. That's not how that is here. I've never felt that way.
Go play in our little Lego land, which
I will. I plan on it. When you said that,
this is just general knowledge. So go play in the Lego area, because we've got an area larger than a basketball court that is nothing but Lego. We've got the 501st and Rebel Legion are going to be coming out for charity to do all the Star Wars dressed up people.
Yeah,
they're
great. They're great.
What they're doing, because it's for charity. Go participate in the virtual reality, because those companies don't often get to, or maybe never have been to, an event where they can actually firsthand show you their VR games. We've got, I think, six companies are going to be showing off their VR games.
Oh, nice.
We've got our board gaming library and programming. So sit down, because I know your feet are going to be tired. Sit down at some point and play a game from beginning to end. Just sit there and play. Participate in the escape room, because a lot of people have never done one. Go try it out. The laser tag may look like it's for kids, but it's adult. I mean, and it is for. I mean, kids will have.
No, it's for adults. Let's be real here.
It's adult equipment. It's state of the art stuff. So go play. If you've never played a Nintendo Switch, which there are a lot of people in the community that don't have access to that kind of stuff, sit down and play a game in the esports room, in the Icon esports room, and then how often do you get into an entire film festival for an entire weekend for $60? You don't.
Yeah, you really don't.
If there was a film festival in any other, you're spending up $100 or more to go to a film festival, and we've got an entire international film festival with movies from 14 countries, all for the same price. Go watch one of the movies. Sit down in that room. I want 150 people sitting in that room the whole time. Show these filmmakers that we'll have a more unique setup for the live podcast area this year.
Nice.
And it's similar to last year, because they liked it, but it's going to be in a better area to do it. But we're not going to have seats out in front. So if you want to sit and listen, sit Indian style. Sit well, crisscross applesauce. I forgot. We can't say Indian style anymore.
Yeah, no way. What? Yeah.
We'll bleep that out.
Yeah, just sit there and listen, and you'll hear some great content from the podcasters.
Yeah.
And as I continue to walk around, I mean, we've got activities in every direction. We're gonna have hopefully, I'm knocking on wood because we're still building it, but we're gonna have the coolest main stage we've ever had this year.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome. Yeah.
And it's just we're trying to up our technology a little bit every year.
That's good. That's good.
And there's just so much to do, and I'm sure I just missed stuff. So we've got workshops. You can learn how to paint a miniature. We've got the acting. Oh God, we've got one of the best acting coaches that you can participate in, and those also have some small fees because it actually costs money to do those things.
Sure, for sure.
It's you're only spending 1/5 of the price if you learn to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Learn how to paint that mini, because a lot of people, it's a big thing, that the big miniature market. Learn how to do improv. Learn how to get in local movies by learning how to act in your casting auditions and stuff like that. I think it's only $20 for the acting classes, and it's just sit down on one. It's well worth your money. Even if you don't want to act, the stuff that you'll learn in improv is priceless.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to better communicate with people. Even loud, noisy people like me can get a lot out of an improv class. So there's just so much going on. And whereas you can have a lot of fun in a single day, it is not a single day event.
Right.
No.
You will not have a complete, you might get 80% of the way there in one day. But to really enjoy PopCon, you got to be there the whole weekend, and it's worth it.
Yeah, and I always encourage people, if they go to any convention, to do a 3-day if you can, because conventions, if you do a 1-day thing, it can be very overwhelming knowing that you only have that one day and you're limited to the day that you choose. And I know a lot of conventions have things going on different days of the weekend too.
People get bogged down in the vendor hall, which we want them to go spend money at the vendors. We've already established that.
Absolutely.
But if you're only there for one day, we've got over 300 vendors, and you're going to want to see them all. So you'll waste a lot of your time in that one day just walking around the vendor hall. And we want you to be walking around the vendor hall. We strive to create a floor plan to where all of the booths get as much traffic as possible, which is very difficult this year. And that could have been another one of my answers instead of marketing, is what was difficult about this year. You gotta get out to the spokes too. You've got to go to the Lego. You got to get to the VR. You got to get to the tabletop. You got to meet this.
Absolutely.
Meet every celebrity. Get an autograph from all. Just don't limit yourself to, like you said, don't go just to the Ruby panel because you love Ruby. Do that. Do Ruby
for sure.
Then now that you got that out of your system, then go enjoy it.
That's what I always recommend anybody that goes to a con is go do the things you know you're going to enjoy first, and then leave, especially if you're only going for a day, which you shouldn't go for just a day. You should go all 3 days, always. But if you're going to go for just a day, knock out all the things you want to do first that you know you're already going there for, and then spend the rest of the day doing all the stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Challenge yourself. I think that's what I always try to tell people is challenge yourself. Step outside your comfort zone. These guys are doing a drag race thing. That's probably a big comfort area for a lot of people, but do it anyway. Why the hell not? Just go. You might enjoy that. You might. There's things you can find at this convention. I promise you guys, you'll find them at PopCon that you're gonna enjoy something. And who knows, you might even make a friend out of it too in the process. That's what it's really about too. Is you might find yourself in a community that you never thought you would be a part of, right, Raven? The rest of the community. Yeah. Anyway, and you might.
I just now started really getting into it.
Yeah, so. But you might find yourself part of a community that you never thought you would, and really enjoying and the experience. And you guys should definitely come on out. You guys still have plenty of time to get your passes to go. I mean, $60
And-
for 3 days. That's a hell of a deal,
And
honestly.
walk-ups are always welcome. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
pre-sales makes it easy on you, but walk-up is just
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And they'll be, you guys will be selling passes all throughout the weekend too. I mean, I'm looking at the prices here, and you guys, I mean, for doing this for your 9th year, you guys are still having really great competitive prices.
I was really surprised when I just looked at this.
Yeah. Like you got a family 4-pack for 3 days. So for 4 people for the whole weekend, that's only $120. That's the price of 2 3-day badges. So you're basically buy 2 get 2 free if you really want to think about it. So come out. You definitely should come. Carl, that's all the time we got today. Thank you so very much, man, for being on the next level with all of us. And thank you to all of you out there who listen to our show each and every week. We do appreciate you, whether you're watching on YouTube right now, like you are and should be, or you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and every other podcast platform under the sun that we're on. We do appreciate you. And Raven and I will be at PopCon that weekend. So if you see us, be sure to stop by, say hello. And we look forward to seeing you in person, Carl, as well. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off, probably, I'm sure. But other than that, thank you guys so much. Until then, we'll see you guys. Take it easy.